Rated M for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
From the gridiron to the ball diamonds, from the hardwood to the ice rinks, from the fairways to the octagon and everywhere in between. If it makes headlines, it's fair game on the Sports Reel podcast on the PFC Entertainment Network. And we welcome you to the Sports Reel podcast live here on the PFC Entertainment Network. Along with Tim Sheridan and Eric Mendal, I am Jason Clouse. We certainly appreciate you tuning in with us, hanging out with us for an hour or so, maybe a couple of hours, all depending on if we could keep the show on the rails, because you just never know what you're going to get here. But what we do know is that we have a lot of things that we're going to talk about. We are hip deep in the MLB postseason. We're going to look back on a very exciting Week 5 in the National Football League, all that and more. Gentlemen, it's great to see you. As I say each and every week, this is certainly one of the highlights that I look forward to. How's things in your neck of the woods?
Well, got a cold beer in my hand. It's finally fall season out, so I'm really happy about that. I'm happy it's not 80 degrees in October, even though it happens usually a couple times in every year now for some reason. But work was good. Lions got another W this week, and Chiefs lost. It's a great week for me. What about you, Tim?
Fuck you, Eric. We can get into that Chiefs game here a little bit later, but yes, they did lose. We'll get into it later. I don't want to hear your shit.
No, I'm just after everything that happened in Week 5, I'm just like, fuck, our picks are screwed.
Hey, I think I look back. I only think I missed 4 games last week.
Fuck,
so
I hate this guy.
I missed 4, I believe, when I looked back.
We'll get into it. We're not getting into it right now. Tim, how was your week?
That's not accurate, Tim.
You went 7. I went 7-7. What the fuck? I think you wrote those down wrong. I demand a recount.
I double checked. I was like, no, that can't be right. But no, you're still in the lead. Make no mistake about it.
Okay, so what did we go this week? Now I'm curious. You went 7-7.
I went 8-6, and Eric, you went 6-8.
That's all that matters. Eric's still in last. Fuck. But anyway, so let's get back to how I've been doing. Been doing well. It was my first week back to work this past week after having 10 days off or something. And I mean, it sucked as bad as I thought it was gonna. It's work, who gets excited about that shit? Not me. But other than that, I had a great weekend. We went and did some bow fishing over the weekend. Went out to one of the lakes and did some bow fishing. My wife caught like a 29-inch pike.
Yep, now I know it's a lie. Yeah, he had me for a second because I'm like, maybe he actually did. But no, as soon as he brought up his wife, I was like, nope, it's a lie.
Yeah.
And then that's about all that we did over the weekend, really. Did some grocery shopping. No, actually, we didn't really do anything this past weekend. It was pretty laid back. Went out to dinner. Just kind of chilled out, watched a bunch of sports on Sunday. Getting some crazy... There it is. Phone feedback here. Anyway, so yeah, we just sat back, watched a lot of sports. Watched the Lions on Sunday. Actually, we watched a lot of football on Sunday, other than when the Tigers were playing and losing, unfortunately, which was disappointing. Other than that, really good.
They took one in Seattle. That's huge.
Yeah, but
disappointing.
I'm talking about my Sunday. Well, you asked me what happened on Sunday. This is what I did on Sunday. I was talking about my Sunday.
Well, they won on Sunday.
They lost on Sunday. Eric.
They won on Sunday.
No, they did not. They lost on Sunday.
They lost on Sunday. They won Saturday. Lost on Sunday.
Yeah, after I was thinking about it, I'm like, fuck, they were in Seattle Saturday, Sunday, so they did lose. And Monday was a travel day.
Yeah.
So
And then right now,
just got to argue with Tim for no fucking reason.
They're under a rain delay there. But today, you know what I did? Today was exciting. I woke up, I took Chase to school, I came home. We finished off the Ed Gein series there on Netflix. I'm sure.
Yeah.
We finally finished that guy off. That was pretty exciting there. I heard that the majority of the Clouse to the Heart podcast that'll drop this week was mostly about serial killers, which I'm pretty excited about. And, I've always wondered this, sidebar for a minute. Why are women so fascinated with serial killers?
Because they want to fix them. That's why.
No.
It's true crime. It's crime, whatever. Go ahead, Jason.
They're plotting is what's happening.
Oh yeah,
so,
they're trying to get the edge, so they're learning from them. That's 100%.
100%.
Learning from their mistakes there. But yeah, I've always wondered that because that seems to be a pretty, dominant thing that women are pretty into serial killers there. But anyhow, we finished that thing off. Then I took a nap. That was nice. And then I woke up, picked up Chase, took him for a haircut, came home, ate some dinner, and now we're here. We're here to bring you a whole nother episode of the Sports Reel, which I'm excited about. So we can get right down to it and jump right into Major League Baseball there because there's a lot of moving and shaking going on. And I think your Cubs are just about out of it there, huh?
They are. They failed.
Well, they got a tall task against the Bruins.
Yeah. Before we get there, Eric, how was your weekend, man?
Weekend wasn't bad, I got a job that I don't got to work weekends anymore, so I'm getting used to that schedule again, and pretty nice, and just built some stuff in the workshop and watched some football, and that's about it. I can't really complain. Just try to have a nice relaxing weekend. If it was nicer out, I would have went hunting, but it was too hot. I can't do that when it's too hot. Now that it's cooling off, I'm gonna try to get in the woods this weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, we went out to my girl and I took her boys out to Johnson's pumpkin farm out in the Saginaw area. Okay. And you talk about fall time pumpkin patches, this type of thing. You have an expectation of what the weather is going to be. Hoodies, jeans. Thing. No, we were all dressed like we were going to the goddamn beach because it was every bit of 90 degrees out and. Bless their hearts, man. Like they trudged through it, but they weren't happy.
I don't blame them. It's doing that stuff. You don't want it that hot. You want it about this degrees right about now. 50, 60 degrees. Nice. This rain, we definitely needed it. And I enjoyed it at work. I will not lie.
Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, we needed it because my yard, you pulled in, it's about brown. Like almost the whole damn neighborhood's about brown.
You might have to cut it one more time this year, and that's it.
Maybe I'm gonna have to ride it a bunch of time to get up these fucking leaves, but because they're already falling faster than I can keep up with them. And unfortunately, that's like my least favorite time of the year because it's nonstop. And as soon as I get my yard all cleaned up, my neighbors have this huge oak tree that overhangs over to my yard. Well, that fucker doesn't even drop its leaves sometimes till like late December, January.
Oh yeah, oak trees hold on their leaves forever.
So I fucking, the springtime comes and it's like I got to do it all over again, and my yard just looks like shit again after spending weeks and weeks trying to clean up this fucking yard. I need to find a better way or just hire somebody to do it, but I enjoy doing it.
I can understand.
It doesn't sound like it, but yeah.
It's the time aspect that I run into because I don't have a lot of time.
This time of year, but I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I enjoy it, but
contradicting yourself, big guy.
It's not stop when you're trying to stay up with this podcast stuff. You know what I mean? We're running Facebook. We're trying to get 1 million posts out there. We're pushing this shit everywhere. We're trying to watch every bit of sports that we can. And on the weekends, it's like just sports, just to stay up on this shit. You don't have a lot of time for anything else, so you're trying to squeeze every little bit that you can in. And it's like there's not a lot of time left in the day.
Well, not really.
And then working 50
dark
hours.
By 8 o'clock.
Yeah. And it gets dark by, and I'm working 50 hours a week. So it's like,
I know the feeling, man. Trust me.
You can't keep up.
But I will say I get a better shot at it because I get 2 days off in a row. So I get, Saturday, I get to sleep in a little bit and all that. And, then I get some stuff done. And Sunday, I'm up at 7. I start laundry. I get to jump right away. Even if I'm not up, I'm still like, if I wake up and I know I'm going to lay there, I'll go throw a load of laundry and go lay back down. About time 8 o'clock hits, I'm like, okay, I'm up. Time to switch laundry. Boom, I'm already ahead of the game.
I've gotten smart in the laundry aspect because I do the majority of our laundry here. And it's not that my wife can't do it because she's great at laundry. She just doesn't fold clothes. And And I can't handle that she washes all these clothes, dries them, and just throws the wrinkly ass clothes back in the basket. So I've taken over laundry. That's not on a knock on her at all, and I know she's not listening yet. But she just refuses to fold clothes, so I've taken it over. So at least we have some non-wrinkly clothes to wear. But anyways, I've got smart, and I do multiple loads all week long. So as soon as I get like a basket, throw it in the washer, and then I wash it, fold it, boom. So by the time Sunday comes now, it's like I got 1 or 2 loads, and I'm done for the week.
That's my Sunday thing is laundry. That's one day a week, and bam, I start on it first thing in the morning, and I'm usually done before 12.
Oh, it's just you though, right?
Oh, me and my daughter, and she's getting bigger and wearing more clothes and getting, it's just, so it's me and her.
You can't be as bad. The kids, like Chase, I got to do his laundry. It's about to get even worse because through the summertime, it's not as bad, but this boy goes to school and he wears shorts and a t-shirt, sweatpants, and a hoodie over top of it. So it's 2 outfits every day.
Yep. I used to do that too. That's what I used to do too.
Yeah. 2 outfits a day. You times that by 7. You got 14 outfits to clean. It's like, dude, why don't you just wear the damn sweatpants?
And his underwear and his socks. And,
it's like, what the fuck? You got double the clothes you're wearing every day.
Yeah, this ain't the everyday podcast. It's a sports reel podcast. Let's get into this baseball.
Jason, did you have anything else going on?
No, man. Like, the pumpkin patch thing was the main event in terms of weekend activities. Caught up on some sports. And, I mean, it was pretty low key. I recorded the flagship show with Amy, which you will hear on Thursday, beginning at midnight. That's going to drop, and that turned in. We came into it. We were going to talk about one thing, and then the sidebar turned into the actual goddamn show. But it was a good conversation, and I'm looking forward to that drop on Thursday morning, right here on the PFC network.
But I did forget one thing. Though. I did have my daughter's second birthday party last Sunday, rec center. I had a big, little Tykes car I got her, tried hiding it behind the gifts on the table. She's seen that, didn't want to open any other gifts. She opened gifts from the car. 2-year-old, finally got her out of it, found a little baby and everything. Then it was just wanting to play with the baby. So learn the 2-year-old is just, when they want something, it's that, and it does not matter what is going on. Other than that, and then we went swimming and all that. She had a blast, and I'm like, that's all that matters.
I'm glad to hear that. Cherish that time, man, because it's
I'm already realizing it. She's already 2. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to blink, and she's going to be going to high school, and it's going to be breaking my heart. I'm not ready for it.
Next thing you know, they'll be 14 and calling you Timmy and thinking it's funny.
If that's what's I look forward to. She's 2 and she already yells at me, but the thing is, I can't understand what she's yelling because she doesn't know how to put full sentences together. So I just talk back to her gibberish, but she gets some words out there.
Yeah.
I'll take that over getting called Timmy, and your son thinks it's funny.
No, my kid's just a little shit talker, and that's why. I mean, he's learned it from me, but you know how much he is because he'll talk shit to you too.
Yeah, he will. He's just not good at it because you're not good at it.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, let's talk about these Tigers, pulling it out in Cleveland and then, getting to Seattle game 1 and winning game 1. That which I thought was massive.
Huge.
You stole one. We went to Cleveland and you won 1, you lost 1, and then you showed them who you are and you beat them and you walked out, you got out of Cleveland there. And then you go to Seattle. And everyone's writing you off because Seattle's been playing very good, and you steal one in Seattle. That was a huge momentum boost. And I honestly thought they were going to steal a second one in Seattle when they went 2-2.
Right.
I really did. I'm like, damn, it's the top of the 8th, and they went 2-2. I'm like, they might steal this one in Seattle and come home Wednesday and win it. But you can't win them all, but you got one away, and that's huge.
Real quick, we did post the link on the Facebook feed. So if you want to join the conversation and be a part of the show live, you hit that link. It brings you into the virtual waiting room. I hit a button, boom, you're on the show with us. Or you can correspond with us live through the traditional live chat, as our good friend David Melbourne has done already here tonight. Great to see you, Dave, and everybody who is tuning in here, whether it be on Facebook, YouTube, or Riverside.fm. We're going across all 3 platforms. The Detroit Tigers made a statement on Saturday night with Game 1 of the ALDS because, kind of piggybacking off what Eric just said, everybody had written off the Detroit Tigers because of the way Seattle has really powered through the Western, division for the American League. And I went on record and said, if by hook or crook the Mariners get past the divisional round, they would ultimately be representing the American League in the World Series. And I do stand by that. However, what people didn't anticipate, or what they did not pay attention to, is the drive that the Detroit Tigers have when they are motivated. And they came into Seattle more than motivated. And I hate the word that they stole Game 1. They didn't steal shit. They earned that win. They powered through, and they demonstrated why they had a right to be there. Now, Game 2, it didn't look like that until later, the seventh or the eighth inning when they
top of the eighth.
Yeah. They tied it up and like, okay, here we go.
It's the same thing as Game 1, and I thought they were going to do it again.
Right. So now they are here in Detroit at what is currently known as Comerica Park, although that's going to change here before next season.
Hold on. What?
Fifth Third Bank bought Comerica Bank.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. So they're going to rename the stadium
To what?
Fifth Third Stadium.
Isn't there already a Fifth Third Stadium? Isn't it like a
Fifth Third Park, which is the home of the Toledo Mud Hens?
Yeah.
Leave it as Comerica Park. It just sounds good.
Yeah, but the problem is Comerica. Comerica won't exist anymore.
I understand that. Then name it Tiger Stadium again.
That's the groundswell right now. There is a
Tiger Stadium again.
Yeah, but you have to understand is that there's already been a lease that's been extended to. I was reading up on this. They extended because when they first built the stadium back in 2000, I think it was, Comerica Park paid them like $66 million for 30 years to have naming rights, or it was 25 years or some shit, or 30 years.
Okay,
and they've extended it by 5 years. So there's a lot of money into having the bank's name on the park.
Okay.
So they're not just going to name it Tiger Stadium because they've paid a lot of money to have their name on the park. So whether it's Fifth Third Bank, it's probably, like you said, it's probably going to be Fifth Third Stadium is what they're going to change it to, unless Fifth Third decides to keep Comerica as an offshoot branch and not rename it and just keep the business as it is. You know what I mean? Just have a secondary business. But we'll have to wait to see what they do there. So yeah, there's a lot of money.
I get there's a lot of money, and I get there's a lot of politics and a lot of money in sports and all that. But come on, like Tiger Stadium, that sounds amazing. That sounds way better than Comerica Park or Fifth Third Park or blah 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 blah. That's just like you should have named Little Caesars Arena Howie Arena. Should have named after Gordie Howe, one of the best hockey players out there. But you got Little Caesars Arena, and I get it. It's money. It's all about money, blah, 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 blah. And I think it's stupid, but it is what it is.
Right.
Well, that one's different because the Illiches owned Little Caesars and they own the Red Wings and the Tigers.
I know that.
I had a conversation with my girl about this earlier today. And I was just like, I hate the whole corporate sponsorship bullshit because it just takes so much away from your personal ties to it. I think that's why I have such a fascination with Old Tiger Stadium. Because that's what it was. It was the home of the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Was iconic. But now here we are, and I finally got used to Comerica Park. But now
that doesn't sound bad. Just like Gillette Stadium, it rolls off the tongue. But if it's I don't know. We can sit here and discuss stadiums all day and all that, but they can't. They're in Comerica Park tonight. They're not playing yet because there's a stupid rain delay. But if you can sweep them at home, that you will show the league that you're the Tigers from the beginning of the season. And I think not getting a break has definitely helped them.
Yeah. For sure.
They're playing their back against the wall. Worst franchise drop in history or fallout in history. You beat Cleveland. You take game 1 against Seattle. You're tied up coming home. You have something. You can do something special here and make it past it and shut up all the doubters right now.
Let's go ahead and take a look right now at what is happening with the MLB postseason picture. As we alluded to, in the wild card round, we saw the Tigers eliminate the Cleveland Guardians, and then we saw the New York Yankees advance over the Boston Red Sox. Now, I am tickled to no end that the Toronto Blue Jays have virtually manhandled the New York Yankees in their divisional round, and they are one step away from punching their ticket to the ALCS, awaiting the winner of the Detroit Tigers and the Seattle Mariners. Now, on the National League side, the Chicago Cubs were able to eliminate the San Diego Padres. That series had me nervous, but I kept the faith. The Cubs are now with if they don't turn it around, and I mean like right fucking now, they're done. Because the Milwaukee Brewers are demonstrating why they have been, for the last 2 months of this season, the best team in all of Major League Baseball. Now, the other side of that is we saw the defending world champion Los Angeles Dodgers eliminate the Cincinnati Reds in 2 straight games. And now they have a commanding lead over the Philadelphia Phillies in that divisional round. So as things stand right now, and LA has been playing lights out baseball. By all accounts, it looks like we are going to wind up with a Dodgers Brewers NLCS. And I have no doubt that the Blue Jays are going to advance to the ALCS against the winner of Tigers and the Mariners. That's where we are right now in terms of the MLB postseason. Eric, I'll start with you. In terms of what we've seen in the first 2 games between the Tigers and the Mariners, what is the likelihood that Detroit can overcome the powerhouse that is the Mariners and will meet the Toronto Blue Jays, and what's going to be an old school matchup? A lot of history between these 2 teams in the ALCS.
Well, you're going to have to play very, very good defense. But Seattle's bats are batting pretty good right now. But reality, they're batting towards the end, like the middle of the 6th and the 7th. So like the last 2 games, first 5 innings been boring. Not a lot has been going on and all that. So they're playing very, very fundamental baseball, and they're playing each other very well. But if Detroit wants to win this, their bats got to get hot early, and their pitchers got to they can't give up runs. The only I don't like to say it, but Screwball is the only one that's really keeping us in the game with the pitching right now. Because I seen that second game in Cleveland, and our pitching went to shit, and I'm like, wow, okay, well, we don't got Screwball until Seattle game 1. If we make it, I didn't think we were gonna beat Cleveland in game 3 at Cleveland, but we stayed composed. You didn't let your pitcher lose a game. You came out and you actually hit. Carpenter got a home run that game. Riley Green got some very good hits, a couple doubles and all that. That's what you're gonna need. You need the momentum early, because if you have the momentum early, you're gonna shut down Seattle. And I don't know how Seattle is for baseball, but when you're in Detroit, baseball is huge. It's not just like when you're down in Florida, Tampa Bay teams and all that, and no one's at the games. That stadium's going to be packed tonight, ready to go. No matter what. It doesn't matter the weather. The fans are going to be there no matter what. Because I don't know why people don't say it, but I think Detroit is one of the best sports cities out there. We're always behind our teams, and we have a great, loyal fan base. And, players realize it after they start playing here for a while.
Especially when you're talking about baseball, because the Detroit Tigers was one of the charter franchises with the formation of what would become the American League. Yeah. Baseball in Detroit goes back to 1901. Okay,
well, it's just like the Red Wings are original 6.
Right.
Detroit Lions are one of the original football teams. Like we're one of the most original sports cities out there. And for people to say like that, just I don't get it. I just don't understand it because we've been around for so long.
I will tell you this to answer your question, and I only know this because we went out to Seattle. I went out to Seattle in 2020, and it was right before the pandemic happened.
I'm like you were ballsy, fucking. I'm like that's when everything was shut down. But okay,
no, it was in January of 2020.
Okay, so yeah, right before everything. Okay,
pandemic. And while I was out there, my son and I took a tour of. At that time, it was Safeco Field. It's now T-Mobile Park, but the home stadium of the Mariners. And there is a lot of sports loyalty in the city of Seattle once they start winning, because at that time there was more focus on the Seahawks than there was the Mariners.
Yeah.
And once Kent Griffey Jr. retired and Ichiro was out of here. Like a lot of the interest in the Mariners team had kind of diminished a little bit because they weren't really doing anything. But when they get good, when they start winning, that city, it becomes alive because they want a winner so bad. The last time they had a winning team was the Seahawks. When they won that one Super Bowl. Then they are clamoring for a winner. And right now, the Seattle Mariners are that best shot to bring a championship home, right?
Yeah, but then you're just saying right there, like they're not loyal like our fans, us. Like we're win or lose, that's my team. Like if they win or lose, I'm gonna root them on, and if they lose, I hate it. But if they win, I'm always there. I'm always rooting on that team, and it does. You think of okay, you lose, yeah, it is what it is, but. You don't sit there and be like, oh, I'm not watching this team ever again. No, you're going to watch the next game. You're going to hope for better results. That's what you're going to do. Right. Just like Cleveland game 2 when they fucking 6-3 or 7-3. I'm like, fuck, that's way worse than game 1. I'm like, that was not a good showing by you guys, but they came back and won it. You got to have the faith. And even you telling me that, it's like, okay, Seattle has the faith when they're winning, but not when they're losing.
100%. Tim, what do you see happening here? What's the likelihood that Detroit is going to advance to the ALCS from your perspective?
Well, so watching back, and I've actually been watching a lot of these games, even back to the Cleveland series, and it was awesome to see them get past the Guardians. You know what I mean? They had to fight through it to get there. What'd you say?
Said the Indians. Fuck the Guardians. It's still stupid fucking name.
Anyway, so in this series, coming out in game 1, taking that one in Seattle, that one was huge. Giving up game 2 with Skubal on the mound, that one kind of hurt us a little bit. I was really hoping that we'd get out of Seattle with 2 wins leading into Detroit, because if you've been watching the Tigers, you understand the deeper we get into that rotation, the harder it gets. And on top of that, we're getting hits and we're getting people on base. We're getting a lot of walks. We're getting a lot of hits, but we're not stringing the shit together.
Well, that's okay. So I'm sorry for this, but Cleveland game 2, we left 12 or 14 men in scoring position.
And we've been doing the same shit.
We had the bases loaded a couple times too.
We've been doing the same shit in Seattle so far. Like we've gotten lucky a few times. We have Carpenter with the home run. Thank God. But we have to be able to string some fucking hits together. If you can go out there and you're getting people on base constantly, but you're not taking advantage of that at all. You just can't seem to string 3 hits together in a row. It's not happening. You might get a walk, a hit, and then 3 fucking strikeouts, or 3 pop flies. They need to start playing simple ball. Like every time they get up there, it seems like they're swinging for the fences, and it's like sometimes. And you know what got them past Cleveland was the fact that they stopped doing that. You've seen some sacrifice bunts. You've seen squeeze plays going on. They sacrificed some shit and they made some shit happen and they got through it. The batting order, I think, is kind of a little fucked up. The way that they're throwing people out there, they need to move some shit around and try to figure this out, because you need to string those hits together to get past this. I'm worried now because You got Skubal. We gave up a game with Skubal, and Skubal pitched awesome. He gave up 2 home runs to Blanco. Same guy. It's like fucking like almost back to back. You give up those 2 home runs, and then we bring who the fuck did we bring in that gave it up? I can't even think right now. He's one of our fucking middle relievers that we brought in. But the problem is you get deeper into these series. On top of that, when you go to the bullpen so much, you end up, these guys have seen these guys multiple days in a row now. So they're starting to get a feel for what their pitches do. And you're going to see a lot more hits start happening, especially on the Seattle side. And yeah, you know what they say about Seattle is they're really relying on that home run, and they do a real good fucking job of hitting them. I think they're going to struggle with that a little bit in Comerica Park, because that is one of the hardest parks to hit home runs in the league. It's one of the biggest parks in the league. So we'll see what they can do with that there. And that might be a saving grace right now, because I think we play the next 2 here, right, before we go back.
Yep.
Correct.
So if we can steal these 2, we'll be good to go. If you take that home run away from them, but that's the problem. If they hit those, it's going to be hard to keep up in the position we are right now, where we're not stringing the hits together. Now, do the Tigers have the ability to do that? Yes. The first whole half of the fucking season, they were doing that. They could string this shit together. Something needs to change. They need to wake up. They need to start having some fun. We can't keep going back to the bullpen so fucking early. We've been doing that. Like Skubal went 7. He went a full 7. But the day before, that rookie that we had him out, I can't even think of his name right now. He was first start. He did excellent too. That was the game that we won. He did great, but we only ran 5. So we were running, I think we ran 4 relievers out there before Vest finally came in. But eventually they're going to get used to seeing Vest too. So we need to I think it was Finnegan that was on the mound, right? Yeah, he was on the mound. He's the one who gave up that 3rd run. That ended up costing us to lose that game. But yeah, the earlier we go to that bullpen, the faster these guys are going to catch on to that shit, and it's only going to hurt us. Now it works both ways, because Seattle's also been going to the bullpen very early. The problem is we're not taking advantage of that either. Now, like I said, do we have the ability? And I'm still very confident that this team, if we can just play like we did on the first half of the entire season before the All-Star break, has the ability to do this. If you would have talked to us back, a week before the All-Star break and asked us how confident we are that the Tigers could win all of it this year, any one of us in the room would have said, I don't see a team out there the Tigers cannot beat in a series. Losing series. Like they were fucking they were kicking everybody's asses. So it's there. They have it. They just need to find it again, and they need to string together these hits. It's got me worried. Now, if we can get past, if we can go deep into this series, I feel really good about this season. I really do. I know we talked about this last week, and if we thought that this was still, a success of a season, and if they can go deep into the series, because yeah, you're right. I remember you talking last week. I listened back to our show, and you were saying if Seattle gets past the Tigers here, that's who you have going to the World Series this year.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah. How do you not figure Seattle?
Dude, Blue Jays are fucking killing it right now.
Blue Jays aren't going to do it. They don't have a Pope. I've told you this a million fucking times. Like, there's no Canada team is ever going to win a championship as long as the Pope is American. I don't give a fuck that he's a fan of Chicago. You know what I mean? If he doesn't even really like Chicago, otherwise the Cubs would be fucking just smoking everybody right now.
Okay, so I'm like, if it's not the Tigers, I really want the Blue Jays to win just to shut Tim up so fucking bad right now.
Canada can't win.
Okay, you made a couple of good points here about the Tigers.
Tim didn't make any good points, because his last fucking sentence pissed me off. So his points were fucking valid. They weren't even valid. They were shit. Fuck you, Tim. That's all I'm saying.
The thing with the Tigers is, if you go back and you look at what they've done this season, their success, the majority of their success, came from playing small ball.
Yep.
Small ball still wins ball games.
It's just like you win the game in the trenches in football.
Exactly. The other part of this is, and this is something that we have mentioned time and time again, this is a very young team, and for a lot of these guys, this is their first time at this stage in the postseason. Yeah. Calm down. Quit worrying about the pomp and the circumstance. Focus on what's happening within the realms of the ball field and play baseball. It doesn't matter what network you're on. It doesn't matter how many people are in the stands. Block all that bullshit out and play baseball, because when you play baseball, fundamental baseball, you can beat any other team in this league. You've proven it. Get back to that mindset.
Yeah, they have proven it and they can do it. But like you said, man, this is a very young team and all that. And to be, a fresh 21, 22-year-old, I can see why that can get to you. And I think that's what's killing us. We don't have that veteran leadership in the locker room because they are such a young team. You don't have those veterans. Like the Red Wings went 25 years in a row in the playoffs. You know why? Because they had those veterans leading those young guys that were coming up, teaching them. You had all those young, like, teaching them, hey, this is our expectations. This is what we do. This is how you got to handle it. And that's why we were so good for so long. So yeah, I think that if we go the distance in this series, I would say the season's not a bust. I would say it's not a downfall or whatever. Yeah, you started out hot, you slowed down a little bit, you didn't really pick it back up, but you almost went, you almost won two playoff or two series in the playoffs. You lost by one game in Game 5 in Seattle. If you go that far, if you sweep them at home, great. Then we move on. But if we move on, the Toronto Blue Jays are looking really tough right now, and that would be a very, very hard series to win, best of 7, because you start going in that pitching lineup. We don't have the stability in that room.
We don't have the depth.
The depth, yeah, I couldn't think of the word, but yeah, we don't have the depth there. You got Screwball, you got a couple other good ones, but eventually you're gonna fizzle out, and that's where you make it to the World Series. Your pitchers are there. That's why we made it in 2006. That's why we made it in 2012. You had a lot of good pitchers then, and you had a lot of depth there. You had veteran leadership. If we make it, they can do it. They've proved it in the beginning of the season. If they can turn it on, they need to turn it on if they want to make it to the World Series, because at one point they were the favorite to win the World Series for a long time.
So as a point there, and we bring it up, like we said this last week and we had this discussion, and how we felt that the season went and stuff like that, but your average Detroit fan might not feel that. And honestly, I mean, they made it this far last year. You know what I mean? Like they made it to the divisional round last year and they got knocked out. So a lot of people are going to look at it. If they don't make it past the divisional round, it's not a success of a season because they only went as far as they did last year. Now, we're looking at it as the way it's a young team. It's a very young team. It's going to take some time to put this shit together, build some experience. But at the same time, it's a young team that needs to get paid to keep some of these people. You know what I mean? Scooble's up for, a new contract pretty soon. And it's like, do we spend the money on him? Yes. We've had this discussion before. You got a left-hander I think he's had 2 Tommy John surgeries already, who throws 100 miles an hour late into a game. How much money do you pay him? You know what I mean? I understand he's the best in baseball right now, but how long is that arm going to last? And that's kind of probably what the toss-up is, because after 2 Tommy John surgeries, you're still throwing 100 late in innings or late in games, in those late innings. You start to get worried in those instances. Like, you give this guy a shit ton of money, and then all of a sudden he's out again for a season because he tore something. And you're worried about that. And I think that's what the holdup is. That's not personally my holdup, but I think that's honestly what the holdup is.
This is where, so say you do lose in the divisional round to Seattle. You got to get another 1 or 2 punch pitchers out there so you can rest Screwball longer. That's your ace. Like a big game, he's starting. You mark those, you go through that calendar of what games you're going to play and where you want him. But then, as the season goes on, you're like, okay, we're close with Cleveland. We need to steal a couple series. Okay, Screwball, you're leading us off. That's what you need. You need another 1 or 2 pitchers you can rely on to get you that win, to make sure you don't have to rely on one guy that can only do it for so long. You need depth there. And if you don't have the depth, then yeah, what's the point of paying Screwball this money? But if you get that depth there and he can be your, hey, ace, we need a win. You throw him out there, you can get that W, then that's my opinion. You need that depth so you can rest him longer if he needs it. Because if he's the best in baseball right now, which everyone is saying, he's going to be a pretty penny to keep. But you got to get depth so you can rest him longer and, keep him fresh.
Well, luckily for the Tigers, they have one of the lowest payrolls in all of baseball.
Oh, yeah, because everyone's young.
Yeah. And
not like the Lions when they probably have one of the highest because they got so many good players.
No, actually, they're still way under cap. They're still like $50 million under cap. They're actually doing really well, and I think they were smart in that, and we'll get into that in a little bit later because we're running into some injury issues, and that cap space is going to come mighty handy right about now. So I think it was a smart move. But yeah, with having one of the lowest payrolls in baseball because they're young, but the problem is that only lasts for so many years. Eventually, all these guys you're going to have to pay. All these guys you're going to have to pay. We're not even going to regard the comments right now because Jason looks disgusted.
Well,
if you're following the comments, Dave is bringing up Wham again, which is one of Jason's favorite bands of all time. He's a huge George Michael fan.
I don't mind. Never mind. I'm not going there. This is a Sports Real podcast.
You know what? They should, man, with AI getting so good, I think they should remake Days of Thunder with George Michael as the lead, and the whole soundtrack should be nothing but Wham. It'd be fucking amazing. Anyways, but yeah, Tigers, I'm at a toss. In my heart, I believe that they can do this, but at the same time, it worries me. You know what I mean? Because we didn't steal that second one. Not steal, theoretically, but we didn't win the second one with Skubal on the mound. That should have been a give me. When you throw your ace out there, that should be a game that you win. You need to win that one with your ace on the mound because you're going to need that. And without winning that game, now we're running out there tonight, and we have the benefit that we're going to be at, Comerica Park. And on top of that, because of the rain delay, this game's going to start late. They're not talking till almost 8 o'clock, which You got to think Seattle's on Seattle time. They're on West Coast time. So 8 o'clock here is 1, 2 o'clock in the morning for them. They're going to be playing late. They're not used to that time shift. You know what I mean?
Especially if we keep getting delayed too.
Yeah. So that could be a major benefit in our favor also because, we're still on Michigan time, even though we went over there and played for a couple games. But those were early games for us. You know what I mean? Because, they were starting at, I think, 8 something at night, on their time. So it's really 5 o'clock our time. So we were getting done with these games way early. On our time. So this could be a benefit also. And you got to take that into effect that some of these guys are going to be getting tired by the end of this night because they're probably usually in bed. But then again, they're all fucking baseball players and they're all probably going out to drink after the games and staying up late and everything else.
Those are NBA players.
Sean, somebody did say Wham. It was Dave. Do you have any insight on Wham, Sean? Or what's your favorite Wham song? We're
talking about sports. Shut up. We're talking about fucking sports. I think we all are on the same page with the Tigers. They got it. You take it to game 5. It's, I don't
even want to take it to game 5. I want to take it to game 4.
Game 5 either. I'd love for them to sweep and all that. But my worry is the Blue Jays. But we got other stuff to talk about.
I'm not worried about the Blue Jays at all. We still have, we got lots of time here, boys. So, Jason, give us your insight on the Cubs here because I know you follow the Cubs pretty big. So,
they're cooked. They're cooked.
Yeah. They ran the way this bracket shaped up. If they had been on the other side of this bracket, they could have gone to the NLCS, bare minimum. But the fact of the matter is, they did run into a little bit of. There was
You drew the short stick. You got the Milwaukee Bruins next round. You drew the short stick.
Brewers, not Bruins.
Brewers. Shut up, Tim.
Bruins are hockey. Brewers are baseball.
I saw chinks in the armor in the San Diego series, and that's not saying anything against the Padres because they have a pretty stacked lineup too with Machado and Tatis. There's a lot of talent there, but I started to see the chinks in the armor, and then they are running into the buzzsaw that we know as the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Brewers have been sitting and waiting for
their
ultimately, which winds up being the Cubs.
They just got the short end of the stick, unfortunately. When you're going to play the hottest team in baseball with the best record, it's not going to be an easy series to win.
No, and the back is against the wall. Now, Chicago is not out of it. They do have a grittiness to them that when their backs are up against the wall, they pull out all the stops. But this also is not the same team that we saw in 2016 either. That team was on a whole different level. The Cubs are in the most, for as a fan and a longtime fan, and if I'm being 100% honest, because it'd be too easy for me to sit here and wave the flag. Yeah, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. But if I'm going to sit here objectively and look at what the way things are, the Milwaukee Brewers are going to the NLCS, and they're going to wind up sweeping the Cubs unless the Cubs can do some drastic turnaround. The pitching is inconsistent. The bats are inconsistent. Much of like what we've talked about with Detroit, but it's on a whole different level here. I'm very nervous about this as a Cubs fan, but I'm also a realist, and I'm like, man, something catastrophic would have to happen to Milwaukee to keep them from the championships series for the National League, straight up. If you know, that's as objective as I can get.
Yeah.
So also, I mean, when we're looking at this thing, we're seeing the Dodgers are still in this thing. Obviously the Dodgers started out like mildly hot at the very beginning of the season, and they kind of fell off, and we were going, what the fuck's going on with the Dodgers? Right. Obviously, you know, it's still the Dodgers. Are the Dodgers still the favorite to win this whole thing again this year?
Nope.
It's another one of those super teams. You got Shohei. Shohei's back to pitching, and he's doing a fucking fine job of it. Is it just another, you know, are we dealing with another super team that's just going to run this league for the next 5-6 years?
No.
If you had asked me around All-Star break, I would have said the Dodgers are coming back into their own as a super team with all the talent that they have. Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, Clayton Kershaw. But I don't feel the same way about this team now as I did back then. On paper, for a lot of sports writers, they are the odds-on favorite to repeat. And I actually thought that the Phillies were going to wind up being a bigger challenge for LA. But here's what I have found about the Phillies. Their success is reliant on Bryce Harper's attitude. If Bryce Harper is feeling it, that team feeds off his energy. But if he comes in and he's all boo-boo face and being a bitch about something, that team responds accordingly, and they don't do well. And I don't know what it is and why that's a thing, because he's not the only guy on this team.
No, but if you have someone like that, that's a superstar, and he's fucking wah boo boo, fucking all that shit, and he's gonna bring down that morale in the locker room. That's why.
For
Pull
me,
your head out of your fucking ass. You play baseball for a living. You had a bad fucking game. You're fine. Fucking shut the fuck up and go play the goddamn game, and don't bring down your teammates, because you have a lot of good teammates around you, and you guys could do very good. You lose, you lose. It's fucking what it is. It's probably only fucking child, probably a spoiled little bitch. That's why he does this shit.
Who makes a boatload of money.
Yeah. What the fuck do you have to worry about?
Probably more than he deserves at this point, if I'm being honest.
100%.
But I really expected them to be, because I listened to that game last night while I was making dinner. And I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. Well, I mean, I could, because I've been paying attention at this point.
You know how he acts. He acts like a baby.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
He's just like, Tim's going to hate it. He's just like Patrick Mahomes when he doesn't fucking win. Oh, that was a horrible game. It's this, it's that. No, you got outplayed, Patrick Mahomes. You're not that fucking great anymore.
Actually, have you ever listened to a Patrick Mahomes press conference? He takes all the blame, bro. Like, he's
why
a professional.
Is it on the internet? He's like, oh, that was the worst offensive game I've played in, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but he's taking the blame there. He said that's the worst offensive game that I've played. Like, he's a professional, bro. Like, he's not blaming it on everybody else. He
crybaby.
He takes the blame. Even when Kelsey was fucking up and dropping balls, he was taking the blame and said, I didn't put it in the right spot. Like Patrick Mahomes is a professional in those aspects.
He's not. So he's a crybaby. We all know it. Wham, wham, boo, boo, stick your head in doo-doo.
Oh, my God. So, no, I don't see the Dodgers as being that superpower team right now.
So saying that right now, we're, everybody's kind of stuck in the divisional series right now. We can see who's leading, who's tied. Obviously, we still have a 1-1 with Detroit and Seattle. If you had to pick the World Series this year, seeing how everything's playing out, what do you think the World Series is going to be?
Objectively,
right now, like if you had to pick who you think is going to go to the World Series this year, who's it going to be?
Milwaukee.
You said serious? Seattle, Milwaukee?
Yep.
Seattle and Milwaukee.
Write it down right now. We're going to fucking see who's right. Write it down right now. Tim, who do you think would go to the World Series as of right now?
I'm going to say, and I hate to say it, but because I believe in Detroit, but the way that they're playing and can't string bats together, I'm going to say Seattle Dodgers.
Okay. Well, don't you got to write that down because Tim's going to be completely wrong. I'm going to give you the right answer here in a minute, but I don't know.
You say that every week with the NFL, but I'm still leading.
Yeah, you're leading because you cheat and you pay Jason to redo your picks and all that. So it's like, I already know you just cheat. It's okay.
Where's the check?
And you know what? I want to say something right now. Right now, while I'm at this minute, because it just hit my brain while you're writing that down. Last week, I am so pissed at myself because when we went over the fucking New England and Buffalo game, I said this game is going to be closer. And Eric's like, "Are you fucking dumb?" And all this other shit. He was talking all this other shit. And I said, "Mark this word, this game." And I almost picked New England. It almost came out of my mouth. You could hear me in the podcast, and I was going to pick New England because I knew this was going to be a tough game. Eric made me change my fucking mind because it's the Bills. He's like, it's Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to go off. He's going to do Josh Allen things. Josh Allen didn't do shit, and I'll show you in the stats later on. I should have picked them motherfuckers because I had a feeling this game was going to go this way, and I'd had a much better fucking week. So I'm going to stop letting this motherfucker sitting next to me lean into my fucking head when I'm making my picks because, yeah, anybody in their right fucking mind would have picked the Bills in that game. But in my mind, I was going, this game is going to be fucking close. It's just, I had that feeling because New England, Drake May's been coming on and they've been playing tougher. The Bills have been slowing down. This hit my mind and I wanted to bring this up because I was listening to our podcast back and you, motherfucker, made me change my mind and cost me a fucking pick. So, yes, back to the baseball. What is your pick for the World Series?
I got to say this real quick, though. Jason, I won. I'm already in his fucking head. I control what he needs to do, and I've already won. That's all that matters.
Josh Allen things.
Exactly. And then, bam, he's like, he's right. Fucking Bills. And I was like, bam, gotcha, bitch. But
you picked the Bills too, so none of us. We all picked the fucking Bills.
I know. Well, on paper, you would go with the Bills, but
anybody on paper would go that way.
But we're going to talk about
you got to pick your World Series pick.
Yeah, because it's going to be the right one. I think it's going to be the Brewers and the Blue Jays. I really do. The Blue Jays have been; those are the top two teams, and they started playing very hot at the end of the season, and they're proving they still are. They're up 2-0 on the Cubs, and the Blue Jays are just destroying the Yankees. The Yankees is not a franchise that is not known for winning. They're playing very well, but the Blue Jays are just.
Did you say they're not known for winning?
No, they are known for winning.
Oh, okay.
I probably did say that.
You did say that.
Yeah, I probably did. The Yankees are known for winning, and they're manhandling them right now when they went to the World Series last year and lost to L.A. I think L.A. is not the super team that they were last year. There's some links in the chain that are broken and all that, and Philly can't expose them, but the Brewers, they're gonna. I think they're just gonna. I think it will go to Game 6. I'll say the Brewers in Game 6 against LA. I think if I would love to see the Tigers go to the World Series, but if the Tigers do advance, I could see them only going to Game 5, if not getting swept by the Blue Jays, because the Blue Jays are very tough right now. Their pitching's good, their bullpen's good, their bullpen, blah 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 blah. Bullpen is good. And their bats are fucking hitting.
Just wait till you get the Pope who puts a voodoo Tom Cruise curse.
Okay.
The Pope's going to put a voodoo Tom Cruise curse on these motherfuckers, and they're not going to go anywhere.
2,138 days. You know what that is?
Yeah, that's how long it's been since you fucking shut the fuck up.
That was damn. You could have been like, oh, that's how long you've been a bitch. Like you could have done way better than that. So like, that's why you're shit talking. You and your son are not good at it. But it's like, no, that's how long OSU has not beat Michigan. So I just want to, just put that out there because we need to start going towards football. But I do want to get your guys' opinion on hockey starts tonight.
Yes, it does.
How do we think the Red Wings are going to do this year? We've seen how they did in the preseason. Not horrible. Do you think they'll make the playoffs this year? That is the giant. Oh, is it, playoffs or bust? Is Yzerman going to be out after this year?
No, I didn't see it a lot of the preseason, but I was paying attention to it. They don't look horrible. There's a lot to be hopeful about. And yes, I do think that they finally make the playoffs this year. I think Yzerman, obviously he's on the hot seat right now.
I don't know if I'd say the hot seat because, when he was in Tampa Bay, you had a lot of people. It's Florida. There's no state taxes. A lot of people want to go there. It's warm, yada, yada. Now you're in Detroit where your legacy, you made your legacy by being a player. You're never going to get fired. You would hope you would not get fired as a general manager there, which I don't think he will. And I think he's really just building towards the long term what he had as a player. After he came into the league as when they were the Dead Wings. Unfortunately, that's what they were then. But then he brought them back, and he's seen what it took for them to be good over multiple years, and I think that's what he's trying to do. Mm-hmm. I really do. I think he's really trying to develop players and all this, and really make it where we're contenders for years on end. And I really hope it is because, me growing up, being born in '93, that was the team in Detroit. We were known as Hockey Town, and what people say, we still are known as Hockey Town. I want to see that back again because there's nothing like when your team is, in the playoffs every year and making a push for the Stanley Cup. Nothing brings a city better than that, together better than that. When you can win multiple championships or, be contenders every year, that's why we were known as hockey. That's why the Red Wings were the face of Detroit for the 90s and the early 2000s and all that.
Right.
Will it be hard now? Because if they get good and relevant, okay, you got the Tigers that are relevant and pretty good. You got the Lions that are dominating every year in the season, and you got the Pistons actually coming up pretty too. So you have all four Detroit teams. I'm like, that is something to rally around in this, this era right now.
It's great, baby. And it all goes back to Dan Campbell. He started all of this.
Yep.
With the grit movement and putting Dan Campbell out into the universe once again.
Okay.
One day, Dan Campbell. But anyways, yes, last year we made a run where there was talks that we could sneak into the postseason.
We were close. Yeah, we were very close.
I think that, during Yzerman's rebuild here, I understand a lot of people feel that he's on the hot seat because, it seems like it's a slow process, but it is a slow process, especially when you got owners like the Illiches who don't want to spend any fucking money in case why the Tigers have one of the lowest payrolls in baseball. It's not just because they're young. It's because the Illiches are fucking cheap anymore. I don't know what happened. Obviously. Oh, yeah. When the team got passed down. They stopped wanting to spend fucking money. But in the same sense, I really do feel the Red Wings are going to make it to the postseason this year. I think they're moving in the right direction. Now, is that enough of a direction to compete with, some of the other teams around the league, including some of these Florida teams? I don't know, but it's enough that I think they're going to be able to squeeze into the postseason this year. They got talent on that team, and they can make some shit happen. It's just putting it all together now. And if the Illiches come out halfway through the season and decide that they want to spend a little bit of money to help us get a little bit deeper into this thing, it'd be a good time to do it. I wish they would have did it with the fucking Tigers this year before the trade deadline, spend a little bit of fucking money, and we'd probably be even in a better position than we are now, even though we're still in it. But it would be cool, just like Eric brought up, you got 3 of our teams right now are bona fide playoff teams. I mean, 100% anticipate that the Pistons are going back to the postseason this year. They're definitely building in the right direction. The Lions, which we'll bring up here in a little bit, they just got rated by the majority of the sports writers as the number one team in football once again. So the whole narrative of losing our offensive and defensive coordinators is out the fucking window. And then the Tigers are in a postseason run where they're tied in the divisional round and have the ability of these next two games to possibly send them to the ALCS. So yeah, I think it would be really cool for them to make it there. And I do think that the Red Wings are moving in the right direction. And I think this is the year that they sneak in. Do I think they go deep? Maybe not this year, but sneaking in is, and just getting there is a step in the right direction.
The biggest difference between now and when they were dominating the NHL is back then they were in the Western Conference.
That is very true.
They are now in the Eastern Conference, and the Eastern Conference is incredibly, and from my estimation, a hell of a lot harder to win than what. That's not saying that there's not good teams in the Western Conference.
Well, what was back then was, sorry for cutting you off, Jason, but back then the West was big bruising hockey. You had big defenders. You played rough. You played tough. And the East was just all skill players, fast, and all that. So yeah, you're going from having Cronwall, Nicholas Intram, and all, and a whole bunch of great defensemen and goalies and all that. And you had a lot of good wingers that could hit too. But now you're going to that speed aspect where it's it's a lot faster, and you have a lot younger, agile guys out there.
Another thing I have to say about this, back then also, we had the majority of the Russians, and now everybody.
We had a Russian
Russians.
5. We had literally
now everybody has Russians, so it's hard to keep up with when you got Russians spread out all over the.
You're not
league.
wrong, but yeah, we literally had the Russian 5. We had 5 players on the ice that were all Russian,
and they were all doped up,
probably
on steroids. They were all built.
I don't know about that, but
they were all built in Russian factories. You know what I mean? We know what the Russians did. We all watched Rocky IV.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Rocky IV, brother.
What's that?
This is not Rocky IV.
That's what the Russians do, man. I'm just telling you. They're all built in a lab. And we had them all back then. We had 5 of them. I mean, it was fucking amazing. And we'd win everything with them. And now, everybody's got Russians. So there's Russians sprinkled everywhere. And now you drop some Swedes in there. You got some Canadians.
Was Sweden and all that.
Yeah.
But I do have one question for Jason and you, more Jason and all this, because I feel like, nothing against you, I feel like he watched more hockey when he was growing up than you did. I don't know. That's just my guesses. Although, did you ever hear the rumor that Gretzky was going to come to Detroit?
Yeah.
And I heard did you hear what stopped him?
No.
So it was either between LA and Detroit. And the day before he made his decision, his dad called him and said, "There's only one Gordie Howe." So that's what stopped him from coming to Detroit. And I just get a little goosebumps thinking about it. How many more Stanley Cups would we have if Wayne Gretzky came to Detroit in that era? I would say at least 5. At least 5 more.
We would have, if that had been
you would have dominated the 90s 100%.
It would have been the biggest dynasty in the history of the National Hockey League. Is certainly the biggest since Montreal went on that run in the 70s and 80s. They would have become, Eric, the New York Yankees of the National Hockey League.
Yep, it would have been just straight Stanley Cup after Stanley Cup, or you would have been at least. You would have, been at least to the Western Conference Finals or the Stanley Cup every year, because you had that many. You had Wayne Gretzky and Steve Yzerman, like Sergei Fedorov. Like, you would have been lights out. You would have been you would have been the New England Patriots or the New York Yankees of that era.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I think about that. I'm like, that would have been because we have 11 Stanley Cups now. You would at least had 16, 17. You would have won way more.
Back then, it would have probably been a stronger possibility too. Sorry, with the salary cap and shit like that now in hockey, like, it's hard. You can't build a super team in hockey. the salary cap is so fucking low that these guys are getting paid way less than anybody else in major sports.
Oh yeah, they always have been, and they always will be, unfortunately.
So now it'd be almost impossible to build a team like that unless people were taking major pay cuts, which a lot of these guys aren't, because careers are only so long and you need to make yours. You know what I mean? So, and it's understandable. So that's why, but it also makes hockey more interesting because honestly, any year, anybody could win this thing. It's not about how much money spent. It's about the talent on the team. And it's about getting these young guys before they get these big contracts. So it's all how well you do in a draft. You know what I mean? It's, if you can do it really well in the draft and you can find enough of these young guys that can root together a hell of a team and still keep your salary cap in check, which is super low in hockey, you have a good chance to win this thing. And I think that's why we see championships change, quite a bit, even though the last 2 years were the same team that won it, and they'll probably win a third one this year.
It was the same team that won it, but it was the same two teams back to back.
Yeah. And it's, and it's those Florida teams.
Can you name who they played?
No, I don't watch hockey.
Okay.
I know it was the Florida Panthers,
Sports Real Podcast.
The Florida Panthers, and that fucking evil Canadian team,
Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I know who played, Eric. I've been doing this podcast for over a year, and we covered this last year. Anyway, so yeah, the Florida Panthers have the benefit because they can bring in people for a little bit cheaper because they don't have those state taxes. So you can kind of get some people to come in there for a cheaper price and keep in that salary cap. So that's why they'll probably stay successful for quite a while, but at the same time, you draft well enough, you can compete. And that's what it is. But yeah, I mean, to get off this topic, I do think Detroit's going to be a playoff team this year.
Well, my last question was, how many more championships would they have won if Wayne Gretzky came in the 80s and 90s, and you're now talking about right now?
3.
Okay, well, I'll take that. But yeah,
3 more.
I don't know. It would have blown my mind if that would have happened, because I think about it every now and then. I'm like, that's fucking nuts. Probably the best hockey player. You'd have to say it, honestly. That's probably the best hockey player.
He's the GOAT. And if that would have happened, would have Yzerman become what he would have became, or Fedorov would have became what?
Probably even better.
I don't know, because he wouldn't have got the recognition because he was the captain. He would have probably stayed the captain. If Gretzky came here, Gretzky would have been the captain. Well, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he's the GOAT. I mean, so would Yzerman have been who Yzerman was? And you got to think, Gretzky was playing all those years that the fucking Red Wings were dominating. So
yeah, we would just been that more dominating. But it is what it is. It's just a hypothetical question. It just gives me goosebumps and all that, because this is Hockey Town. It always will be Hockey Town. And I'm just happy hockey is back, and we're going to see what they can do this year. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the NFL Week 5 season and how Tim cheats on his picks, but it's okay. But I still like him.
Do you want to go over? Oh, you went over all the results.
Yeah, we already went over it. You fucking went 7-7. He went 8-6. I went fucking 6-8.
Which, thank God, because I was worried, because it's I could give up things, but I only gave up one game last week. And unfortunately, it was his fucking fault.
I just gotta just make some quotes, and you'll just be like,
but Jason got us on the Washington pick, because we didn't pick Washington to fucking win it. Both of us went against Washington.
We did, and
Washington fucking stomped this week. But anyways, yeah, we can get into week 5 of the NFL here. It was another great week, crazy fucking week, because there was a shit ton of upsets.
Yeah, that's what killed me. 100%.
Yeah, shit ton of upsets. So I'm sure your parlays and your betting didn't do great last week.
I won one of them.
Oh, good. Hopefully,
bet on Tampa Bay. I bet on Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield do some things, and they did.
Oh, they're going to continue doing things. Tampa Bay's
I could see, if the bracket works out, I could see Tampa Bay and Detroit in the NFC Championship game. I really do. They're what other team in the NFC is dominating right now? Nobody.
There's teams in the NFC that are doing really good.
They're not. The Eagles are step back. They don't even give Saquon Barkley the ball much anymore. What are they doing? You have a fucking horse in the backfield and you ain't feeding that motherfucker? I'd be feeding him every down.
Well, if he's not getting any yards, actually, I'll go over his yards here in a little bit.
Because they're not. How many carries did he get? How many carries did he get?
It depends on what team they're going against. They're going Denver, and they're one of the best fucking run-stop defenses in the league. Actually, Denver's probably one of the best defenses in the league. Anyways, let's go over my notes here real quick before we get into the elephant in the room, and that's Eric, who doesn't watch enough fucking football, and he can't pick winning
I'm too
teams.
busy keeping up with the leaves in my yard, unlike you.
I haven't done these at all. Anyways, so we had the 49ers 26 over the Rams 23. This was another one of those upsets this week because I did not see the 49ers winning this game. I figured it to the Rams. Last minute field goal lost it for the Rams there.
But
anyways,
the Mac attack, dude. Mac came
Mac
through.
Jones. But this goes back to my thing where we've talked about this plenty of times in the podcast before, how you could put anybody out there for the 49ers and they're going to look good. Shanahan has such a fucking quarterback-friendly program. Mac Jones looked like shit in New England. Now all of a sudden he plays for the 49ers and he looks like a fucking stud. He went for
Well, you can't say that about him because he did come in at the end of the Brady and Belichick era. So yeah, he's gonna look like shit. They're trying to rebuild the dynasty they had for 20 years. Yeah, he's not just gonna step in and fucking throw the ball like Tom Brady.
So do you think they gave up on him too soon?
Yeah, 100%.
But then Drake May looks really good too.
Yeah,
So
but now look at Mac Jones and at the 49ers.
it's the 49ers though. It'd be like putting him out there on the Vikings. He's going to look good either way.
No, he's not. Fucking Carson Wentz has experience. That's why he looks good there.
Okay.
Does Carson Wentz not have experience?
He
Did
has
he not
experience.
lead a team pretty much almost to the Super Bowl and got hurt?
He has experience, but
Exactly.
okay.
Josh Allen did Josh Allen things.
Yeah, he did. He did a lot. We'll get into that in a minute.
Much, but
Josh Allen did a lot of Josh Allen things. Anyways, 49ers 26 over the Rams 23. Mac Jones went for 342 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. McCaffrey only 57 yards rushing. Bourne had 142 yards receiving on the Rams side. Stafford 389 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Now bring up a team that can compete in the NFC. That even though they lost this game, that is putting up some fucking incredible numbers. It's the Rams.
Their defense
and I
was
think
exposed.
that's why you watch Stephen A. Smith's fucking top 5 every week. This week, I think he had the Rams in 3. He actually moved them up after this game, even though they took a loss.
Yeah, but who was number 1 in his pick?
The Detroit Lions.
The Detroit Lions,
we'll get
baby.
to them in a minute. We had Williams 65 yards rushing and Devontae Adams 88 yards receiving. This was a game I did not see.
What about Puka Kanua? You don't have the Swiss Army knife stats.
He wasn't one of the top 3 fucking offensive, although he did get 10 catches and a bunch of yards. He's actually leading the league in catches this year.
Yeah, and you don't have that?
He's one of the fastest to reach the amount of fucking catches that he has in the years. No,
I
didn't.
what round they picked him in? The 4th.
I know what round they picked him in. The same fucking round that fucking Bob Dylan got picked in.
What was that?
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, because you don't know. Because it's actually the 5th. I threw out a number in your head and you just went with it. See, I'm already in your head today. It's working.
This guy right here. It's hard to go over this shit with this motherfucker sitting next to you. I'm telling you.
Oh, shut up. I'm sorry. Sorry, I just call you out on your facts.
Anyways. Yeah, Puka Nacua had another game. He's having a hell of a season.
He is.
But he wasn't one of the top 3.
No, he had a little bit
performers.
quieter game, but yeah, he is having a hell of a season.
He had 10 catches, so I don't know how quiet it was. He just didn't have any touchdowns, and they weren't for a shit ton of yards.
Oh, he had a touchdown.
Oh, yeah, he did have 1 touchdown. That was one of the ones, too, thing. But
his stats, and he doesn't even know if it's
okay, when I pull up my stats, I go to the NFL Network. It gives me the top 3 of each team, and that's what I write down. Puka Nacua was not one of the top 3 of this thing this week, unfortunately. Otherwise, he would be on this list. Next game, Houston 44 over the Ravens 10. Jason picked Houston to win this game.
He did.
I think, didn't you?
He did. And we stuck with Baltimore.
I think all 3 of us picked Houston, didn't we?
No,
Eric picked Baltimore.
I thought they were going to feed Derrick Henry, and I thought with how that Houston,
they did feed Derrick Henry. For
but I thought with how that
yards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought with how that Houston defense has been playing, I thought Henry could expose him a little bit, and I was wrong. Henry's starting to go on. This is definitely his downest year he's had.
Yeah, I don't think he may have had 1 yard over 50 yards. One game over 50 yards.
He's not doing what he did last year. He's definitely taken a big step back.
Yeah. Anyway, so CJ Stroud 244 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Nick Chubb 61 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Kirk 64 yards receiving, compared to the Ravens side, who had Cooper Rush at quarterback because Lamar Jackson is hurt still. So he had 179 yards passing. Henry, 33 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Flowers was held to 72 yards receiving, no touchdowns. So not a lot of offense put out there by the Ravens this week. And unfortunately, you start thinking to yourself, everybody was going into this season thinking that the Ravens were one of the top
team,
three
top
teams
team like last year,
in the AFC. But then again, I have to remember last year. If I can't remember exactly how they started out last year, but I think it was something like 2-4 or 1-4.
It was 1-4, and they were looking bad, and then they just turned it around.
They turned it around, and that's fucking. They're right in that mix right now, so it's a hard team to pass up on.
Do you think with Lamar being out, they took a lot of wind out of their sails? Because it seems like it.
Oh, definitely 100%. Lamar being out, he's the majority of their offense.
Yes, and it really shows how, surprisingly, he has not gotten hurt with how mobile he does and how much he runs, but he definitely is a good maturity of that offense.
The thing with him is if you watch him, so when he first came into the league, he's always been a major runner. He's kind of
he has no problem running out of the pocket.
He's like a Michael Vick, and he ended up getting hurt his first couple seasons. Then he put on some weight and some muscle to fight that off. And then he went an entire season without getting hurt, and now he's lost the muscle again. He's taken some weight off to become a little bit more agile on his feet again, and he's already ended up hurt this year.
I don't remember him getting hurt in the beginning.
But fucking, he's had major problems with injuries. Last year was the only season that he's made clear without an injury.
I don't remember him really getting hurt because I thought he was going to end up like RG3, unfortunately, where he was a good runner and a good passer, and then RG3 tore his ACL, and he was never the same.
Look up real quick, Jason. Can you look up what years Lamar's been hurt? I want to say last year was the only year that he's made it through the entire season without getting hurt.
I don't think so, but I couldn't be wrong.
Because I remember having this conversation about how fucking Lamar cannot stay healthy.
But continue with your stats. Unless Jason has it right now.
Jason's on it right now.
I'm looking it up. It's going to take a minute here.
Continue with your games.
So while you're looking at that, I'm going to go over the Cowboys 39 over the Jets 22. No surprise here. I picked the Cowboys last week. I think you picked the Cowboys too.
Yeah.
I can't remember which way Jason went, but the Cowboys offense is just fucking. He's looking real quick.
I went with Dallas. Yeah.
They went down. Okay, so we all went Dallas last week. The Cowboys offense, Dak, we called it at the beginning of the year, Dak was going to have another year where, he's an MVP contender. Now, the defense isn't that great, and it's not much of a win over the Jets. They're 0-5 now. That's a rough start over there. That's the worst start that the Jets have ever had. But anyways, Dak, 237 yards, passing, 4 touchdowns. Williams, 135 yards, rushing, 1 touchdown. Flournoy. I don't even know how to say this.
Just so you guys know, the Tigers are in the top of the second right now.
Okay.
They have started.
114 yards receiving. On the Jet side, Fields went for 283 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall, 113 yards rushing, and Wilson went for 71 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Not a surprise of a game. I really do think the Cowboys are going to have a good season. Do I think they make the playoffs? They're going to be, if they do, it's going to be a wild card spot, but I don't think they make it. But I think they have an over 500 season.
Yeah, I would agree with you that. But also the Jets are literally one of those teams that is, they're like, who were they? Who was it last year? That was just was losing at the very end of the game and just losing by 3. There's one team that was just losing at the but they're losing at the end of the game and just can't put it together to get that W. And Justin Fields playing pretty good.
Justin Fields, I thought he played great when he was with Chicago. I thought that Chicago would be better off with Fields than they are with Williams.
He gave us a lot of fits last year.
Jason, did you bring up the or the thing on Lamar?
What they have here, Tim, this is courtesy of Sports Kita.com. Lamar Jackson's injury history in terms of major injuries. They have an ankle injury in 2021, a knee injury in 2022. Nothing else after that of significance.
And he was drafted in 2018.
Yeah.
So
I know he's had some smaller injuries. I've held him out for a few games here and there. So they haven't brought up this year's injury.
Do his years and see how many games he's played every year. Because then you'll be able to tell if he's played 16 or less. Then you know what I mean?
Oh, that's a good fucking point. If you bring up his stats year by year and you can see how many games he's missed year by year.
If he's played 16 or 15, you'll be able to see how many games he's actually played then you can go off, okay, he's had some more injuries that held him out for 3 to 4 games. So, yeah, maybe. We'll continue with your stats until he looks that up.
Okay. Anyways, next game. This was another fucking it was one that none of us called. Denver 21 over the Eagles 17. We all had the Eagles winning this one. I think everybody, realistically on paper, the Eagles should have won this game. But anyways, Bo Nix 242 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Dobbins 79 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Cortland Sutton 99 yards receiving. Compared to the Eagles, Hurts went for 280 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Barkley, it's another thing. I mean, you look at this, it's same with Henry, the 2 top fucking rushers last year. Barkley 30 yards rushing.
How many carries?
I didn't get the carry numbers.
Yeah, they're not giving him the ball as much as they were last year. They're trying to go away from that for some odd reason. It's like, stick to your bread and butter, man.
Maybe they're trying to make sure that he doesn't get hurt and he lasts the season. Who knows?
but now look at Denver.
But Denver's also going to be a hard team to run against, so I kind of understand that. Denver has one of the best run top defenses.
Look at Denver now. They have a running back. They do. So they're taking more pressure off, Bo Nix, and they're a legit contender for the AFC because Sean Payton's turned that team around, but they have an actually good running back. You actually have a good young quarterback, and you got pretty good receivers, and your offensive line's not horrible.
Yeah. I mean, the team was turned around. It was a tough matchup.
Yeah, it was 100%.
Smith 114 yards receiving. So I mean, not bad offensive numbers for the Eagles, but it just wasn't enough to get by Denver there.
No, and they only lost by 3.
And the Eagles. Okay, so you look at it everywhere, and like the Eagles started off 2-2 last year. They're 4-1 this year. They're actually doing better this year than they started off last year. So it's hard to knock them out. They lost against a really good fucking team.
Yeah, Denver's a good team.
Denver's a good team, and they are a playoff contender this year. So I still think the Chargers, are a playoff contender this year. That whole AFC West, besides Las Vegas, will probably end up be fighting it out towards the end of this season.
I think they'll all make the playoffs. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance. Besides the Raiders.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I said I meant the 3.
The Chiefs, Denver, and fucking San Diego, or I mean, it's Los Angeles now. I think all 3 of them have a good shot to make thing, and I understand. We'll get to the Chiefs game here in a little bit.
It'll just be like the North last year. It was the Lions, Vikings, and Packers all made the playoffs.
Yeah, and we thought that and we'll get to the Lions, and we'll get to the North here in a minute, but the North, we thought the North was going to be the toughest division in football this year.
It still is.
I don't think it's the toughest division of football because the Vikings really aren't that strong this year, and Chicago still fucking sucks. So we'll have to wait to see how it turns out.
Here you go.
All right, so 16 games played.
Right here is the list that you want to look at.
All right, so he missed a game in 19, missed a game in 20, missed fucking 4 games in 21, missed 4 games in 22, missed a game in 23. He played the entire season in 24. Just like I said, he didn't fucking miss anything. So
he's only missed 7 games right now. So we'll say,
but it's
we'll say 8 games he's missed.
He's only had 8 games. He's only had 2 seasons where he's played the entire season.
Yeah, but he's only missed 8 games out of how many years?
That's pivotal though. As a quarterback, that's pivotal.
Do those numbers. That's great for a quarterback that runs like he does. That is great. He's not hurt.
It is, but that's also pivotal. It's
just agreed.
That's important on a team that relies so much on their quarterback.
And
they can't win without a fucking quarterback. So if he gets hurt, they're not going to fucking win a game. And it shows right now.
They've won every year. They've been a very good team since he's been around.
They haven't been to a fucking Super Bowl.
They have not. I can agree with that. They have not. He is not good.
Lamar Jackson cannot win in the postseason.
He cannot. But he's only missed 8 games out of how many years has he played?
All right. So let's look at it. We're talking about running quarterbacks. Can you bring up the same stats for Josh Allen while we go through this next?
Josh Allen's only.
I don't want to hear it. Josh Allen. Josh Allen is they're the same type of quarterback.
It's not the same amount.
And I'll tell you the size difference, and then I want to bring up the size difference between Lamar.
Same amount of years.
What year did Josh Allen get drafted?
Like 2022.
Okay.
It's in the 20s. What year did Josh Allen get drafted? Look that up, Jason, so I can shut him up.
His first season was 2018.
Josh Allen? Okay.
So
it's the same exact amount of fucking years.
Well, no, because Lamar got 2017. So
yeah, but he didn't start till 2018. We just looked at the thing.
Who?
His first year was 28 on that list, or 2018 on that list. How many games did we got?
So how many has
12,
Josh Allen?
16, 16, 17, 16, 17, 17, 5. He missed one game because that was his rookie season. He probably didn't start the season.
So Lamar's missed 7 more games.
He went every game in 2019, every game in 2020, every game in 2021. He missed one game in 2022, and they probably sat him because they won their division, so he probably didn't play the last game. 2023, he went 17. 2024, 17.
So he's missed
now,
2 games.
I want you to bring
We're
up
still going to count that.
what is the height and weight of Josh Allen compared to the height and weight of Lamar Jackson?
He's making you look up useless things.
No, because that makes a big difference. Lamar Jackson needs to put on some weight if he wants to fucking stay healthy.
Some people can't put on weight. Some people
though.
Yeah, he has muscle, but yeah,
he
some
put
people
on
lose
that weight last season, and he was looking really good, and he went the entire season. And then this year, he took the weight back off to be more mobile, and he's already fucking hurt.
All right, stand by.
Go to your next stats.
All right, my next stats. Next game, Tampa Bay 38 over Seattle 35. I believe me and Eric both picked Tampa Bay in this one, and I think Jason picked Seattle in this one.
I believe you're right.
Because Jason is a huge Sam Darnold fan.
Sam did not. I'll say that.
Yeah. Anyways, Baker did Baker things, 379 yards passing, 2 touchdowns.
See Baker things, so now we're saying other people.
Yeah, no, Baker's one of the best quarterbacks in the fucking league, and I give him credit. Like, he did not get a fair shot in Cleveland, and they let one of the best quarterbacks in the league go there, and that's why they're so fucking dumb. Anyways, you had White 441 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Egbuka 163 yards receiving, 1 touchdown compared to Arnold, who also had a very good game.
He did.
341 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Walker the third had 86 yards rushing, and Smith and Jigba got 132 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. So good game. Went the way that I thought it was going to go, but it was also a close battle.
Those two teams always put up a lot of numbers.
Yeah,
they always. There's a lot of throwing, a lot like they.
It was a shootout.
There's not a lot of defense in those games.
Yeah,
there's not.
It was a complete shootout. I mean, 38-35. That's fucking. I mean, you put over 70 points on the board between two teams. That's a hell of a shootout.
Yeah, those teams don't have a lot of defense. Okay, so what's the height and weight of Josh Allen compared to Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson is 6'2", 205 pounds. Josh Allen is 6'5", 237 pounds.
Built like a fucking tight end, bro.
So he's only got 20 some odd more pounds on him.
That's 20 some odd more pounds of fucking pure manliness.
In the chat for
yeah, I see it there. Yeah, Lamar, if he's gonna want to stay healthy, 20 pounds of muscle is a lot of fucking muscle, bro. I mean, but he's got 3 inches of height on him too.
That is true.
But yeah, like there's just a difference.
Lamar, Josh Allen doesn't run as much as Lamar does.
I mean, fuck, I don't know about that.
We're not looking up fucking rushing attempts.
We're not going to rush that, but I don't know because if I look at the 2 biggest running quarterback, I mean, there's a lot of them now, but Josh Allen is successful at it. Lamar is successful at it.
Hurts is successful at it.
Hurts doesn't run as much as you think he does. He gets a lot of tush pushes. He does escape the pocket sometimes, but he's a pocket passer with the ability to run.
Yeah, so that's same as Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes is not really a runner, but he can run when he needs to. And last night he ran for a touchdown. So did Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence actually looked really fucking good last night.
I thought he looked like shit when I seen.
The Jaguars look pretty fucking good this year, but we'll get to that game in a minute because I think more so the Jaguars didn't win that game. More so the fucking Chiefs lost that game for themselves.
Continue.
Jason, do you have any feedback on any of these games that we've covered so far?
No, not really.
Okay.
I'm listening to you, but I don't really have anything intelligent to add to what you guys are already saying.
All right. So, anyways, the next game I got the Detroit Lions 37 over the Bengals 24. Jared Goff 258 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Montgomery 65 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. He also had a passing touchdown in this game.
He did.
St. Brown 100 yards receiving. Compared to the Brownings, or the
The
Bengals.
Brownings.
Browning.
Who the fuck are the Brownings?
Sorry, the Bengals. Browning got 251 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He also had 31 rushing yards. Jamar Chase had 16 yards, 110 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. This was a fun game. It was definitely a fun game. The Lions offense came out here, put another 38 on the board. They are the number 1 scoring offense in the entire league once again this year. They're like fucking, I can't remember how many points ahead of everybody else already this year, but they're just fucking just point monsters. Like they're just adding points up faster than you keep up with it. The defense, we took some fucking another major injury in this game. And I don't even know how major it is. Terrion Arnold's out.
It's not as bad as what they said.
Yeah, Terrion Arnold's out. He's going to be on the IR. He's out for an extended period of time. He was pissing me off in this game. Once again, he cost Hutch another 2 sacks and a safety with stupid fucking penalties. So Hutch realistically should be at 8 or 9 sacks already this year, but he's at 5. He should be fucking killing it, but Terrion Arnold can't keep his fucking hands off people. So maybe it's a good thing that we sit him for a little bit. And we were talking a little bit earlier about how they have almost 50 million in cap space. That's going to come handy right now because we have DJ Reed out on IR. He'll probably be back in the next 3 or 4 weeks anyways. Terrion Arnold out on IR. Khalil Dorsey out. We're really thin on cornerback now. And that's going to play a huge factor coming up in this next week's game because the fucking Kansas City Chiefs have 3 receivers who run sub 4.340s. They have 3 very fast receivers, and we're going to be running almost all backup fucking cornerbacks this year. Now, the biggest difference is I'm really hoping, and Lee McNeil's coming back to practice this week. He will probably start this coming up week. We're going to need him because we're going to need to get pressure on Mahomes in order to stop him from getting that ball out, to let them get downfield. You know what I mean? Like, because we're soft at corner now. But in this game, the offense was fucking looking incredible. Defense, a little soft in the second half. Like we were running this thing up. I think it was 28-3 at the half. It was something fucking ridiculous. And then we kind of backed off a little bit. We ended up with some injuries. I think we ended up with 3 takeaways this game. The Lions are just doing Lions thing. You look around the league with all the top fucking sports reporters around the league. Almost everybody moved the Lions up to the number 1 in their fucking power rankings. So everybody's considering that with the loss for the Eagles and the loss for the Bills, everybody's moved fucking Detroit up into that number 1 spot. So suck it, Green Bay. Fuck Green Bay Packers because Detroit Lions are back. And Jason, did you see us going into week 5, moving up into that number 1 spot already? Or did you like deep down have that fear that having a new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator were going to affect us? Because I know when we had Isaac on the show, that was his big thing, the takeaway that, losing those coordinators was going to be a huge factor. How do you feel about that? Like,
I wasn't as concerned about it as a lot of other Lions fans were. Like, I could understand where there was sources of concern because, how much of our success relied on Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. But we still have Dan Campbell. And you still have other people that dude is so smart. He has worked so hard to get this team to where it's at right now. He wasn't just going to let anybody or just fill those roles. Like there was a plan in place, and he probably had this in the back of his mind for a while, knowing that both Ben and Aaron were going to be offered head coaching jobs and that they were going to take them. So
I could bet you the year we went to the NFC Championship game, that's when it started in the back of his head. He's like, we made it this far. He's like, if they leave this year, I got to be ready. And they stayed. So he developed what he was going to do for this year. And it's already showing.
So to be at this point where we're at right now and coming out of week 5, going into week 6, I'm not surprised at all.
No. You had the week 1 where we didn't play anyone for the preseason. We didn't come out prepared. Green Bay looked good. we didn't, yada, yada. Now Green Bay looks like the mediocre team, and we look like the same old Lions, what we have been doing. And I think they will continue that.
I don't know if you want to use that moniker, because that was always the bad moniker, but I guess it could be a good moniker now.
What?
The same old Lions.
That is true.
You know what I mean? Like
the new Lions, not the same old Lions, yeah. The new Lions. He's changed the culture here, and he did a very good job of it. Him and Brad Holmes, I will mark my words, they will bring a Lombardi trophy to Detroit.
I could feel it. And I don't want to say it now, but there's something special. And I know there was a lot of things, and I keep going back to when Isaac was on the show. And obviously he's a Green Bay fan, so he's going to shit on the Lions a little bit and raise up and try to build his Green Bay Packers up. But at the same time, his points he brought up were the new coordinators and the new offensive linemen. And after week 1, I would have never admitted it, but part of me was a little concerned after week 1 going, holy fuck, we just got our asses stomped. But week 2, kind of just put a squash to all those fears that any of us ever had and went, all right, we're fucking there. You know what I mean? And that's why I said at the beginning of the season, you're not going to know what any of these teams are until about week 5 or 6. And we're week 5. Lions are the best team in the fucking NFL.
Going into week 6, so yeah.
Yeah, well, I said week 5 or 6, and we're just finishing week 5, and the Lions have once secured that spot of the best team in the NFL. They are scoring more points than anybody, just like they did last year. They were the highest point scorers in the entire league. And they're right where I thought they were going to be, but of course, there's a little bit of doubts in your mind after, week 1 like we had. You know what I mean? But it makes sense. We didn't play any starters in the preseason. Everybody's coming out fresh. We have 2, we have a rookie offensive lineman, a second year, who get thrown into that spot. And another point I wanted to make up to this game when it comes to the offensive line, how much Taylor Decker means to this line. Yeah. Because without him on it, the Bengals were getting so much more pressure on Jared Goff than they would normally get in that position. Manu, he did okay, but he was not a Taylor Decker. So
it's to the point is Taylor Decker's been here a long time. You got to start looking at your replacement, in my opinion, but he is a giant piece in that offensive line, and it sucks when he's out because he's, for an offensive lineman, left tackle, he's older. He's an older guy, and it's your body's going to break down eventually, and that's where it's at. That's, Ragnow, fucking great center. Was arguably last year one of the best centers in the NFL.
Arguably the last few seasons.
Exactly. His body could not handle. You're trying to stop 300-pound linemen, if not 280, that are agile and strong as hell. Yeah, your body's gonna it's not gonna be able to handle it. And at the end of the day, you got to think about your life after football, and that's what he did. And I wish he would have stayed around one more year to develop these couple young players we got. Yes, but I get it. Next man up. They stepped up and they're doing just fine. Those 2 young players stepped up in that role, and they're showing they're meant to be there.
And Glasgow is filled in that spot, just like I was calling from the beginning. I think you called it too. He was going to do phenomenal in that position at center.
Yeah, because he did a couple times center last year, and he did just fine.
And we could have played that one a little bit different, but I think they wanted to get Manu some playing time in an actual NFL. Right? Yeah, because we could have called up Dan Skipper and put him in that position. Yeah, I think Dan Skipper does well filling in any position.
Yeah, and he's big. He's a big enough guy to play left tackle.
6'10", fucking 330 pounds or something. He's a fucking massive human. Another thing I want to say after this game, another phenomenal game for Hutch. That's why I'm wearing his jersey right now. I know he got robbed out of 2 sacks and a fucking safety in that game because of fucking Terrion Arnold. But after this game, I was looking it up. He has moved on to become the #1 favorite in betting odds for Defensive Player of the Year, which I called at the beginning of the season. Hutch was going to be the Defensive Player of the Year by the end of this year.
Throw $100 at it.
No, I don't bet money. I work too fucking hard for my money, Eric.
Not what I've seen. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, so yeah, he's moved up into that position. But anyways, overall, the Lions look great. We do, I think, need to start looking into, and I know we picked up Trey Flowers heading into last week because the DJ Reed injury, which he'll be back in a few weeks. But now we're getting real real light on corners. The defensive line is holding, and we're going to add to that with Aleem McNeil. Mohammed had another good game, which having him over there makes it real easy on Hutch to get in there. So Hutch just keeps on eating. Anzalone, awesome fucking game.
Yep.
Ended up with an interception. Overall, fucking Branch, another phenomenal game for him. Another phenomenal game for Jack Campbell. That the linebackers, Kirby Joseph, another fucking phenomenal game. Overall, the defense did great. Did we give up some points at the end of that game? Yeah, we started playing a little soft at the end. The defense wasn't. I mean, I think they backed off a little bit, and that's why I kind of like. There's part of me watching through this season, and I really like Shepard. I think he's really good. I like his energy, and I think he's playing a little bit smarter than what Aaron Glenn did.
Yeah,
he knows when to back off a little bit, and have his guys
Aaron
back
Glenn's
off.
Very aggressive, and even and I liked it, but he is still. But Aaron Glenn, that season we went to the NFC Championship, he did better in my eyes than Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I think so. The defense,
and I thought that year he was leaving. I really did, but I think what made him stay is when Ben Johnson stayed.
And I really like Morton too.
Yeah,
and I love Ben Johnson. I mean, I hate him at the same time because he went to a fucking divisional rival.
I don't hate him. He won the head coaching job, and
just
the best one in his eyes was Chicago. Well, go to Chicago and see how you play against the Lions. And we spanked his little ass when he came to Detroit, and we'll spank his ass in fucking Soldier Field. But I don't hate him because he helped develop this team to what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I actually hate him. I just hate the fact that he went to a divisional rival, which I wish they didn't. But Lions are exactly where they need to be after this week. The team looks phenomenal. I think we're going to pick up some people. Part of me thought we were going to go get CJ Gardner-Johnson back, but he just fucking signed with the Ravens.
Why would you go get someone that talks shit about your city? Fuck that guy.
Because you need the fucking help.
Yeah, but the Texans let him go because he starts problems in the locker room. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I'm just looking for that depth for the season.
Clearly not, because you thought we were going to go get him.
He's a hell of a...
He's a safety. He's not a corner. We need corners, not a safety.
But we could also move fucking Brian Branch up in that position. He'd do well. And don't tell me Kirby Joseph wouldn't play fucking corner that well either. You know what I mean? Like, you can move those guys around.
Why would you get rid of that chemistry those two have in the backfield or in the secondary?
I wouldn't want to.
Well, I'm just saying.
When you need depth at a position, you kind of need to move guys around. I think those guys are versatile enough to fucking pull it off.
DJ Reed will be back sooner than he'll be back soon. You have Terry Arnold, even though you're sitting here yelling at him because he cost Hutch this and that. But when he's
playing well, he's playing well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a second-year player, so you got to give him some slack a little bit. Is he doing better than last year? Yes, but he's still making a couple mistakes.
He's
making a couple mistakes.
You know who the number 1 and 2 cornerbacks in the league were last year for penalties?
Terry Arnold and who?
DJ Reed.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though he's playing for
because they're aggressive, and that's what we are in Detroit.
Like we need to
get to your next stat, motherfucker.
Penalties. Anyways, so moving on to the next one. This was another Jason pick that me and Eric got wrong. It was the Commanders 27 over the Chargers 10. Jaden Daniels, which I didn't think Jaden Daniels was playing this game. They had him out.
After I seen he was playing, I was like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
I already knew. I was like, Jason got it right. I'm like, he picked the right team. I was like, we're fucked.
Yeah. Good call, Jason. I don't know if premonition had you realizing Jaden Daniels was going to play this game. But anyways, Jaden Daniels, 231 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Crocky Merritt, 111 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. And Deebo Samuel, 96 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Compared to Herbert, which kind of fell off this week because he's been looking like a fucking young Joe Montana so far this season, and this game was not as hot. He went for 166 yards passing. He also had 60 rushing and 1 touchdown. And then you had Keenan Allen had 58 yards receiving. Slow offensive output for the Chargers this week. We haven't been used to seeing that so far this year. No,
usually they're hot. They're playing very well.
And they couldn't do it against the Commanders. Anyways, next game, Jason, you have any output on that game that you picked Washington to win?
Just know I had a vision, and that's why I went with Washington. I knew they were playing.
Well,
you got to feel that. I had that last week too.
You're starting to pull away from me, so you can take your vision and shove it up your ass.
Yeah, I had a vision last week too, and this fuck talked me out of it mid-pick. So And we're
I
going to
didn't
talk about
you
that
out of
game
it. I didn't
right
talk you
now.
out of it. I just made you
We're
think what was going to
going to
happen.
talk about that game right now. The Patriots 23 over the Buffalo Bills 20, which I fucking had a feeling. I'm telling you.
Well, shove your feeling up your ass.
Had a fucking feeling. Drake May, 273 yards passing. Henderson, 24 yards rushing. Diggs, 146 yards receiving. Diggs has been hot this year.
Yeah, because they feed him there. That's why he left Minnesota. That's why he left Buffalo, because he didn't get fed there, and he threw a little fucking bitch fit like Bryce Harper does, and he gets traded. But Bryce Harper doesn't get traded because he's actually really good too. So yeah, so that's Stephon Diggs. He doesn't get the ball enough. He fucking whines. Why do you think he hasn't been with? If he didn't bitch a lot, he'd probably still be in Buffalo.
Probably.
If he didn't bitch a lot, he might have went to Kansas City. He could go to a fucking team that could handle a star receiver that wouldn't whine about not getting the ball.
Fuck, he could still.
You know who he reminds me of is T.O. Because T.O. fucking bitch when he didn't get the ball.
I heard some weird feedback.
There was a little weird echo there.
It sounded like somebody else was talking.
It happened earlier. I just ignored it, but it just came again.
Where the fuck is that coming from? Like I heard somebody else's voice. We have ghost.
Probably, but continue. So
anyways, okay, so Josh Allen, 253 yards passing, 2 touchdowns with 53 yards rushing. Almost Josh Allen things. He like, almost did Josh Allen
hearing
things.
Your stats, you could literally bet on most of the quarterbacks to throw for 225 to 50 yards.
That's pretty average.
Every game, and you're going to fucking win.
Yeah.
Like, if you really think about it, like fucking Josh Allen, Drake May, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff,
Jared Goff's average in the
Sam
200s.
Darnold, like most of the quarterbacks throw for 200 yards,
200, 300 plus.
Yeah, like it's Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford's almost 400 a fucking week.
Exactly,
it's
stupid. It's stupid how much it became a passing league over a running league. But continue with your stats. Sorry.
So anyway, then Kincaid 108 yards receiving. So the Bills, their top rusher was Josh Allen this past week.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Bills, this was a close contested game, just like I thought it was going to be. I don't know why I had that feeling that it was going to be a close contested game. It just felt that way to me. Do I think this knocked the Bills down a peg? No. I think they're going to come back with a vengeance this coming up week and just fucking smoke somebody, because they're going to be pissed off about losing this game. They should have probably never lost this game, but every once in a while you're going to lose one game to a team that you shouldn't, and it's going to fucking happen. It happens all the time. You think about it, the worst teams. I mean, Jason's a Carolina fan. They play everybody tough. They don't win a lot, but they play everybody fucking tough. They rarely get fucking stomped.
Well, Chubba Hubba's out, so that might not be the case anymore.
Chubba Hubba.
But
anyways, on to the last game of the week, which was Eric's favorite game of the week.
Hell yeah, brother!
Jaguars 31 over the Chiefs 28. Trevor Lawrence 221 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 54 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Thomas Jr. got 80 yards receiving, compared to Mahomes, went for 318 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 60 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Thornton got 90 yards receiving. Hunt got 2 touchdowns also. Kelsey got a touchdown in that game also.
Kelsey was the first touchdown.
He was the first touchdown. Kelsey actually had another really good game. He looked great out there. Only had 1 drop pass. Let me tell you about this game. As a Chiefs fan, they lost this game. 100% won't admit it. They're in trouble this year. They need to figure some shit out. The biggest thing that they need to figure out is their issue with fucking penalties. They had a fucking backup fucking something on fucking, I can't even remember what position he played normally, but he was on fucking, he was at special teams, but I think he was like a linebacker or some shit. Backup guy that was up there that ended up with 4 penalties on kickoff returns.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up happening to be on really good kickoff returns, which on the last play of the game, he ended up with another fucking holding call, which would have put fucking them in almost field goal range already with 20 seconds left. That could have got them tied up in this game and sent this thing to overtime. Mm-hmm. But this motherfucker couldn't stop holding. The personal fouls in this game were fucking outrageous. Hollywood Brown, I think, ended up with 2 of them.
Yeah.
Just because fucking just they're jabber jawing back and forth.
Yeah, they just need to learn to shut up.
Yeah, they just the penalties lost this game for the fucking.
Don't get me wrong. I like a little shit talk and all that, but just shut up and play the game at the end of the day.
Penalties killed the Chiefs in this game.
Yeah,
100%.
It did. It did. I don't agree with you
Usually,
on that.
the biggest offender is Taylor at right tackle. I think he only ended up with one in this game.
But he's getting better. Yeah,
and that one wasn't even technically on him.
No.
It wasn't a false start. It was an illegal formation, which wasn't technically on him.
Did you stay up to watch the whole game?
I did. I watched up to the very last minute.
You're more dedicated than I am.
I'm a Chiefs fan.
That.
Yeah, I'm a Chiefs fan.
Even the Lions are on Monday night. I'm going to they play Sunday night next week.
I'll stay up forever. I'll play.
Yeah, I'll go to bed.
But anyway, so yeah, the Chiefs lost this game because of penalties. They need to clean their shit up. If they didn't end up with the penalties, they wouldn't have lost.
In reality, they lost the games. They didn't score enough points besides Jacksonville, so that's why they lost the game. It's not because of penalties.
No, literally penalties. Literally pass interferences that put fucking Jaguars in at the fucking 1 yard line.
Well, yeah,
or at the 10-yard line. Then you end up with another fucking holding call that puts them on the 1.
Yeah, and then literally
it's
the touchdown that won it for Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence fell down and had to get up.
Yeah, how could you not get to him?
I don't know.
What the fuck?
I don't know, but I seen that and I thought it was fucking great.
The problem, you know why the Jags won this game? Not only
because they scored more points.
No, they scored more points, but they controlled the ball on offense.
They did.
The second quarter, I was getting pissed because honestly, I was really watching this game for the fact too, because I needed to win this week in fantasy and I needed fucking Mahomes to hit a certain number. The defense couldn't get off the fucking field at all. They kept on committing fucking penalties that were automatically giving the fucking Jaguars a first down, marching them down the field. And I'm not lying. The Jaguars offensively didn't do a lot. The penalty yards were fucking insane in this game.
Yeah.
They offensively put the points up, but it's because they got down into the red zone so much based off penalty yards. Like the Chiefs beat themselves in this game more than the Jaguars beat the Chiefs. It was fucking ridiculous. And if they don't start cleaning this shit up, they're going to be in a lot of fucking trouble. Like a lot of fucking trouble this year.
Yeah.
Like I still have them as a playoff contender. The team offensively played really well. Offensively, they played really well. It was defensive penalties and special team penalties that fucking killed them. Like I said, that last drive, 20 seconds left on the clock. That return was like a 36 or 39 yard return. It almost put them in fucking field goal range. Like they could have tied up this game and went to OT. But the same motherfucker who on 4 really good fucking returns off kickoffs, holding call every time on the same stupid motherfucker. His ass would be working at the fucking Waffle House next week if I worked for that team. I'm not fucking lying. I was getting pissed.
Settle down.
I'm getting pissed.
We got to make picks. We also, bad news to deliver. Tigers are down 2-0 in the fucking third right now. So hoping to God they can turn around, but we got to make picks. We do have to
make picks.
You're upset about your fucking Chiefs. They suck this year. They lost. It is what it is.
They don't suck.
They do, but
they're stupid.
Jason, let's get these fucking picks going.
Stupid fucking team.
He's all flustered
Andy
right now.
Reid
this is what we need
to beat the shit out of all of them.
That's not that old.
He needs to get out the whip and just start whipping
that
these
dude eats too many cheeseburgers to do anything.
There's nothing wrong with eating cheeseburgers.
I fucking love cheeseburgers, but he eats
Jason,
too many.
Do you like cheeseburgers?
No. I like.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I like cheese.
You,
all right.
What?
Are you a Nazi?
No.
You fucking sure as hell are in my book now. You don't like cheese. What the?
Cheese?
What?
We're coming up to the top of the hour here, so let's go ahead.
Let's get our picks in.
Yeah, we're talking about cheese. We're having a discussion about cheese next week, but.
We're going to start Thursday night when the Philadelphia Eagles will be playing the New York Giants. I will be going with Philadelphia here.
Yeah, I'm going Eagles too. I think they're going to have a bounce back game and win this one. I think they're going to be pissed about losing last week.
I'm having a vision right now.
But that's a big matchup, and Eric's going to have a vision, and
I'm having a vision, but you won't shut the fuck up, and it's the Eagles because they're going to destroy the Giants.
It's going to be a close game.
I hope to God it's not.
All right, your early games include Denver Broncos and the New York Jets.
Broncos.
With how the Broncos are playing, their defense is really good. Their quarterback's playing great. And their running back's definitely taking off. He's definitely doing better than he was in the Chargers. And they have pretty good receivers. I'm going with the Broncos.
I really want to pull for the Jets here for them to get first win.
I do too, but I'm right now how the Broncos are playing, coming off that big win against the Eagles. They're going to have the momentum, and they're a very good team. That's why I'm going Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, I have to at this point. The Los Angeles Rams will be in Baltimore to play the Ravens.
Rams.
If Lamar ain't back, it's go ahead, Jason.
I'm going Baltimore.
I'm gonna go with the Rams too, just because they lost a close one, and they're gonna come out, because if they lose again, it's gonna put a pretty big damper in their playoff hopes.
Okay. The Dallas Cowboys will be playing the Carolina Panthers.
Cowboys.
Who you got, Jason?
I'm going Carolina here, man. Like they really need I don't know. I just have a feeling.
I looked at that one, and I'm thinking Carolina too, because I think they are they're gonna come out hot that week, and they're gonna surprise the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are gonna take them light.
The Indianapolis Colts will be hosting the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going Indy here.
Yeah, I think Danny Dimes is going to go out there and put on another show.
I'm going Colts.
Colts.
All right. The Seattle Seahawks will be playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going Seattle here.
Fuck.
It's a tough matchup, right?
That is, like, after seeing that the Jaguars are 4-1 this year, that is a tough matchup, and I think I'm going to take Jacksonville.
I'm going to take Seattle.
I think Jacksonville's going to squeak another one out.
They have the possibility. If you play a clean game, Jacksonville's a good team this year. They're 4-1.
Yeah.
Don't knock it. Like that team is off to their best start in a long time. But Seattle is also a tough team this year. I think Seattle just has a little bit of the edge offensively.
We'll find out. You know?
I think they're gonna win that one.
Miami Dolphins will be hosting the Chargers.
I'm gonna go Chargers. I think they need a big pickup week, and I think this is gonna be I think they're gonna stop all over Miami.
Then I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
I'm gonna go the underdog route. I'm going Dolphins on this.
Remember, there's stuff on the line, Jason. Remember,
Well, I have a little bit of wiggle room though.
that is true. You did pretty decent. I gotta start pulling my head out of my butthole.
All right. Pittsburgh Steelers will be hosting the Cleveland Browns.
Well, now the fact that the Browns have traded their star quarterback to Cincinnati, I'm gonna go Steelers.
I'm gonna go Steelers because it's Aaron Rodgers.
That
He
too.
just has the experience over Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland's got one of the best defenses in the league, but I was like, Cleveland doesn't have much of an offense right now, so I'm gonna go Steelers.
All right. Yeah, I too am going Pittsburgh on this. New Orleans will be hosting New England.
I'm gonna pick New England. I think they're gonna be coming in with energy after that win against the Bills, and I think they're gonna beat up on probably arguably one of the worst teams in the NFL this year.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed last week when the Saints beat the Giants, but I really thought the Giants were going to beat them. But the way New England looked, last week, I'm going to go with New England.
I'm going Saints on this.
You're a
He's going
ballsy
against
motherfucker.
us.
You're a
He's
ballsy
going
motherfucker.
against us.
All right. And that's going to take us to the late games, in which we will see the Tennessee Titans playing the Las Vegas Raiders.
Fuck.
I'm gonna go Raiders here.
I am as well.
I'm going to go Titans. Cam Ward's definitely been getting better every week. I'm going to go with Titans.
All right. Tampa Bay is hosting San Francisco.
God, this one is a tough one for me because San Francisco's defense is pretty fucking good this year.
Yeah, but they don't have Nick Bosa right now.
Even without Nick Bosa, they still look really fucking good.
No, not as good as they could be. I'm going the Bucks. The Bucks are playing lights out. Their fucking defense
They're playing lights out. I don't think their defense is playing that fucking great this year. I think their
they're playing
offense is
enough.
fucking outstanding, and they keep on playing these close ass fucking games. And
I'm
it's
going
telling
Bucks.
me that the Bucks aren't playing. This is a hard one because I bet against San Francisco last week and I lost.
You did.
I lost, and they played a hell of a
And
fucking
you're going to bet
game.
this week and you're going to lose too. It's okay.
Jason, pick yours first because I'm
Tampa Bay, man. I knew they were going to beat South. It's just Tampa Bay. Dave, stop getting ahead of us. We ain't on the Bengals game yet, motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm going Tampa Bay on this.
fuck. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay too. All three of us for Tampa Bay. I have a feeling 49ers are going to win it.
Then go with your feeling.
No, because I don't want to give up a pick.
You know, Mac is going to do Mac things.
All right. Cincinnati will be hosting Green Bay.
Packers.
As much as I hate the Packers, I'm going with the Packers just because, you know, they got Joe Flacco now, but
Cincinnati's a fucking train wreck right now without Joe Burrow.
Yeah, that's why they trade for a quarterback, but I'm going to go with the Packers.
All right. And then
Who'd
Sunday
football.
Who did you pick, Jason?
Green Bay.
Okay, you didn't say it. You just picked it. Yeah, say it.
I'm trying to rush through this here because
sorry.
Sunday Night Football, the Detroit Lions will be visiting the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going Lions here.
I'm going Lions.
Wow. We'll go Lions.
I mean, it's obviously Lions, the number one scoring offense in the league. That defense.
Just shut up. We got
Kansas City's defense just keeps on fucking committing penalties. It's going to hurt them.
That's true.
Another doubleheader on Monday night, starting with the Buffalo Bills playing the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to go Atlanta here.
I'm going the Bills.
Bills. They're going to have a bounce back week after losing one they shouldn't have. They're going to have a bounce back week.
Pissed this week.
Yeah, and they're going to take it out.
Murder Atlanta.
Yeah.
All right, and then the Chicago Bears will be finishing week 6 against the Washington Commanders.
Now that Daniels is back, I'm going Commanders.
Yeah, Commanders. They beat the Bears last year in a thriller. They're going to show the Bears who's still their daddy. I'm going to go with the Commanders.
I am as well. Chicago is just a train wreck at this point. So
real quick. No. This is Tim's 5 seconds of golf talk on the PFC Entertainment Network or on the Sports World Podcast. Brought to you by the PFC Entertainment. There was a golf tournament this past weekend. Somebody won it. Sorry, I didn't get to more. We didn't have a lot of time. We're running out of time. Jason has to go to work. Thank you.
Can that be every?
That was just for you, Jason.
Can that be every freaking week of golf? Like, that was great.
Appreciate that. All right. All right. We appreciate everybody who tuned in here tonight on the Sports Grill podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and all of our other socials for all the other updates, news, notes, and information on this show and all the other great shows. Also, as a quick programming note, this Friday, the Fatal 4-Way will be back on the air at ONTV beginning at 6 p.m. Just look for Orient ONTV on Facebook and YouTube. With that, go out, be awesome to yourselves and to each other, and we will see you next week right here on the Sports Reel podcast on the PFC Entertainment Network.
Let's fucking go, Tigers.
Come on, Tigers, turn it around. You're only down 2-0.
Fucking go, Lions.